Hi, welcome to Discover Ergo. Today we're going to talk about Ergo as a smart layer for Bitcoin. How Ergo can open up functionality for Bitcoin itself. Okay, so Ergo is a smart layer for Bitcoin. The idea is very simple. So Ergo wants to leverage Bitcoin security, and it wants to provide the ability for it to do computation on its side, so it can do dApps. And yeah, that's the simple overview. Now, basically, Bitcoin has certain properties. It has weaknesses and it has strengths. Now, in terms of some of the strengths, is it's a store of value. It's been around for 15 years. People trust it, and for the most part, it's ran flawlessly. Now, some of the issues, because of how it was developed, and its architecture, it can be slow, and when it gets congested, fees can be high. Now, another thing is controversies. When it comes to Bitcoin itself, what happens is when there's an upgrade, certain things can happen where people can have the ability to change or alter the code, and maybe they find something that they can do that they couldn't do before, such as make ordinals, which is a type of NFT. Now, the downside of this is just because of Bitcoin's nature, what you want to do is limit anything that can pose a risk to it. So you want to get rid of as many side effects as possible. People within the Bitcoin community believe Bitcoin should just be a P2P cash, and the good thing about that is it's a very simple idea. It's very simple to understand, and it's harder to mess up. When you introduce smart contracts, you introduce risk vectors. You introduce all kinds of things that can go wrong, and yeah, that becomes a problem when you have a digital asset that's worth $1 trillion. So, how is Ergo going to help? Ergo is going to use double merged mine sidechains. Now, this is something I'm going to make another video about, but in essence, the idea is that miners will upgrade their software. They'll be able to use Bitcoin mining to even probably, I believe, earn Ergo tokens as well. So I'm gonna have to just double check that, because some of this is still quite new. Yeah, that's it. This will actually be quite important, because what you want to do is you do want to increase utility on Bitcoin itself. And the reason why is because you do need to find ways to pay miners, because miners are the people who secure the network. In essence, utility leads to security. Utility also leads to opportunity for people within the Bitcoin space and community as well. Now, Ergo is also going to use the Rosen Bridge, which is a protocol that helps cross-chain, which helps assets move from blockchain to blockchain. Okay, and Ergo is already connected to Cardano, and it's going to be connected to Bitcoin. It's already been tested, and Ergo is also going to be connected to Ethereum and so on. Now, I'm going to make another follow-up video about the Rosen Bridge, because its technology is actually quite interesting itself. I believe it's quite sustainable in terms of bridge and technology. It's been thoroughly thought through, just so it can minimize certain risks. It's not. I don't think it's the fastest. Bridge and piece of tech out there in the crypto space, but I think what's important itself is security, especially when you're dealing with a lot of value. And yeah, so the idea is to not change Bitcoin itself. It's just to work hand in glove with Bitcoin. And the reason why Ergo is going to be able to do this is because of the way it was made. It uses proof of work and the UTXO model as well, which I'm going to go on about in a second. So, yeah, just the benefits. It can reduce the Bitcoin load, and it can increase scalability when it comes to the dApp side of things. It's going to leverage Bitcoin's security, and yeah, that should be pretty good. some other protocols, such as the Stacks network, I believe they have their own token. What they are going to do is, I think they're trying to build on top of Bitcoin, and that can have its own set of challenges itself. But I think Ergo's approach, where it's going to work side by side with Bitcoin as a side chain, is a pretty novel approach, actually. Now, so Ergo is not going to compromise Bitcoin's security. It's going to advance functionality, and it's going to help facilitate broader adoption. It's pretty simple. Now, if I'm going to expand upon this, I would say it's important that Bitcoin does maintain its security. It's worth $1 trillion in terms of market cap. If it went to zero, that would be existential for the crypto space. It already has deep connections to the traditional markets. And in 2021, there was a protocol called Terra Luna that went from roughly $90 billion to zero. That kind of stuff sets the crypto market back. It hurts people. It attracts bad faith regulation. And it just makes everyone's life harder. Now, in terms of getting decentralization to work, just the importance of it, in terms of a society, for that to work, we need to make sure that sometimes security is paramount, and that's why Bitcoin doesn't need to change in that way. It can just be as it is. But other protocols within crypto can adapt and actually provide that functionality, which is pretty important. Now, Bitcoin is worth 1 trillion in the future, when it's worth 2, 3, 4, etc. People are going to look for opportunities, and if Bitcoin has more functionality, then it's going to attract a whole group of people. Because when it comes to Bitcoin, whether it's ordinals or like smart contracts, anything along those lines, there is a demand, and in essence, as it grows, I think that demand is going to be pretty important for Bitcoin to grow, but also for crypto to grow as well. And I guess finally, a last few things is when it comes to Bitcoin, because of its deep ties to the traditional market, what can happen is, if you increase that functionality and you bridge Bitcoin to other blockchains, it's a bridge for the traditional market to get into Bitcoin, to get into crypto, and for that to be more sustainable, for it to be more collaborative and not just competitive as well. So those are a few key ideas, and I guess there's one final thing. I think what's interesting about Ergo itself is philosophically and technically. Philosophically, it has a lot of the same strong cypherpunk roots as Bitcoin did in the early days, and technically, what's interesting about Ergo itself is it uses a proof of work mechanism, different to Bitcoin's. It's ASIC resistant, it's GPU mineable, which means it's less likely to be centralized. It also uses the UTXO model as well, just like Bitcoin as well, but the EUTXO. The E stands for expressive. That's how you can make smart contracts on Ergo itself. So I think these are the kind of design choices that makes sense in terms of Ergo and Bitcoin itself. It's the overlap within the community itself. This emphasis on decentralization, this emphasis on a grassroots movement. Ergo wasn't pre-mined. Ergo wasn't VC led. It was just organic growth and development, and it still is. And in terms of the technical side, I think it helps when you have some overlap in terms of the technology itself, because I think it just streamlines things and it makes things simpler. So yeah, that's something else. That's something I wanted to add at the end. Thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or anything you'd like me to check up on, or would like to hear about in terms of the Ergo community, please let me know. And thank you very much.